Hi everybody. Just made a video on learning Hungarian, since that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I kind of wanted to continue that, but a little bit differently. I just wanted to say, I wanted to talk a little bit about the way one goes about learning a foreign language and the traditional method that people sort of like to stick by. And I think this traditional method really is the problem. I think this is what the problem. I think because of this, I think the reason why more people don't learn foreign languages is because of this traditional method that's sort of pushed onto people. And this occurs in formal institutions such as high school and universities. The university method doesn't really differ too much from the high school method of teaching foreign languages, even though the universities will claim that it does. And I think and people tend to think that this is the right way and the only way of learning a foreign language. And I think this is very wrong and very deceiving, since we don't really learn our first language in this way, and we shouldn't be learning our second or third language or fourth language in this way either. I think the traditional method is a problem because it really does a good job in demotivating the student. And the key ingredient in language learning, in successful language learning, is obviously motivation. Motivation, mostly, I think that's probably the biggest factor. Time, obviously, not a great deal, but consistent time spent on the language. And basically just curiosity and motivation. And I think we don't have motivation because the language is forced on us in such a way which demotivates us and makes the language just almost impossible to learn, or very hard to learn. And what tends to happen is people go through learning a foreign language for 3 years, taking up a foreign language at university, finishing their degree, and they find that they still can't speak the language. They might be experts in the language, in the grammar and the vocab, or some aspect of the language, or in all kinds of bits of the language, but they can't communicate, they can't speak it. They may write it very well, but they can't talk. And I think this is a problem because I think the information is given to us in too many separate categories, like, okay, this is the pronunciation, let's work on this, let's get that right, then we'll do the grammar, and the grammar goes for 5 years or whatever. And I think too much time is spent on the sound and the grammar and the vocab in separate aspects. Whereas if you just listen and speak, your brain is very good at working out all this stuff without having explanations everywhere and having aspects of the language divided up. I think this is really bad and makes it just so hard. If you listen, yeah, your pronunciation might be not so good at first, but you'll generally get you'll get a feel for the sound. You'll get a feel for the grammar. Oh, that doesn't quite sound right, I'll say it this way. And vocab you'll pick up through context, I think. So it's just a combination. I mean, people don't learn their own languages that way. They learn, Italian, Hungarian, English, or whatever, Japanese, in that way. They don't learn it in separate aspects. They need to learn it all together and absorb it naturally. I don't care what anybody says, this is the way to do it. This doesn't mean you'll be speaking perfectly straight away, but it's definitely a good start, especially if you want to start speaking pretty soon. Thank you.